And then I said, man, if only there was like someone to like join this with me. Oh, a speedrun summer. Let's get juicing! If it already started, I'm going to get in there immediately. No one's going to see anything. No. Okay, I'm in.
Yahoo! 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 Yahoo!
Oh, hi, Capital. I'm just streaming Mario 64.
Yahoo!
You wanna join?
Yeah, I get it.
Yes, again. Apparently they're having like a speed run, a 16-star speed run. Apparently. Um, whenever it's laggy, I just take it, plug off the computer, please. Scam? It's a scam. Sue! Ah, crap, I'm...
You failed miserably. Give up.
Wait, I should, like, flip you around. Flip there.
Oh, I should probably change my PNG then, huh?
Sup?
Alright, my
16
PNG
star.
has changed. Mom, why do you keep calling the dog Miss Boo? I changed my PNG.
Okay. 70! There it is. Let's go, 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 go!
Deal.
Go. Damn it.
Hi. Guys, it's me.
Why is everyone disconnecting?
Whoa. You good, okay?
Can you like share some this live stream and my other videos with some of your friends? Is that okay?
People are
Bad internet.
No, people are just offline. I'm gonna go now. Bye.
I feel like I'm more like maybe I should like whoops. Where are you right now? Hello? There you are. Come on!
Alright.
Bruh.
Whoa.
I wanted to get the 100 coin star.
Yahoo!
Okay, go. I fucking suck at this game.
Alright. Let's go.
I suck ass at this game, I swear.
Yahoo!
God damn!
Alright. Yahoo! Let's go. Yahoo! Whoa. Yahoo!
Bowser. Nope. Key? Oh, thank fucking God. God damn it. Let's get this rabbit. Okay, I was sure to get him. Alright, give me the money. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
God damn it.
Yahoo!
Wait!
Yahoo!
I got it! Nope. Open the door. Thank you. I'm gonna make sure you're not gonna do the MIPS clip. You can't catch me, sucker! See ya!
Yahoo! Oh, yeah. Ah, Yahoo! Oh, yeah. Yahoo! Yahoo! Wah-ho-ho! Yahoo! Wah! Yahoo! Yahoo! Oh, yeah.
This is 31, not 15 star.
Let's go. Yahoo! Oh, ah, oh, ah. Yahoo! 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 Oh, Yahoo! 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 Oh, yeah. All right. Yahoo! Yahoo! Oh, oh. Yahoo!
Gonna push myself to this door until the... I'm not gonna let go until the door unlocks. The moment they collect 30 stars, I'm going to say...
These misconceptions cause ripples which affect how people see the game, what strategies they use, and what they believe is possible, and sometimes even widely accepted foundational ideas are wrong. Stick around. This video will set the record straight on a few things, and provide a modern understanding of Super Mario Brothers. This video is all about making you aware of misconceptions of Super Mario Brothers.
Yahoo!
First, I have to make you aware of a game that just hit the App Store, Acecraft Sky Hero, the sponsor of today's video. It's a vertical shooter and visually it looks great, the classic rubber hits cartoon style. The levels are quick runs with one or multiple bosses, and I like the mechanics of dodging and even reversing enemies' attacks back at them. I also think the way the mid-level progression system works is really interesting. You have movement skill trees
All right. Yahoo! Wahoo!
roguelike situation. Which abilities you get first and what order you power them up in will change. He gives you a lot of ideas Alright, let me show you what I mean with some false ideas we had in the past. For example, in 8-1, runners would sometimes lose time on this stage, seemingly at random. We tried to figure out what the culprit was, and had a running theory. Here's me explaining it to an audience of 50,000 people back in 2013.
In 8-1, for example, the frame rule, the best one for that level, you can't slow down a single frame. You actually take, like, the exact right
I'm tired.
So, is that how it works? No, it's not. But as more time passed, our understanding kept evolving, and it was determined that it had something to do with hitting this block to make the star block. So, we made sure to hit the star block every run. But sometimes, we would still fall behind. Eventually, there were some ideas floating around of how to avoid this time loss. Here's a clip of Darbian from 2016.
Let's go.
above me. You're gonna always hit the star block, but when you jump to hit it, continue holding A until you hit the ground again. I'm told that that does something with your settings to make it less likely that you'll lose the frame.
So, is that how it works? No. I remember doing runs back then and trying to set guys, but it just didn't work all the time. I kept doing it out of superstition, but yeah, it was still a mystery. Finally, 1 month after Darbian recorded that tutorial video, someone cracked the case. Ooh, ha 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 ha's. Long story short, there's a spot in memory that is only used for special objects like power-ups. When you hit the star block in A1, the star is stored here. But the flag at the end of the level also uses this spot in memory. When it loads in, some of the star's position data is left over, and the flag starts using it. Depending on what value was left here in memory, in other words, where the star was when it went off screen, it can make the flag reach the bottom of the pool faster at the same time. Once we understood this, we could take the necessary measures to make it happen on the other, no longer mysteriously lose time here. Alright, that's one example of how this information speedruns, what's the primary thing you associate with
Yahoo!
For many of you out there, it's clear. There is one answer that comes to mind.
Oh, yeah.
Buzz.
Holy shit, that was close.
If you watch basically any speedrun content for this game, you've probably heard that exact line before. Case in point, at the end of each run, the game only checks for you should cover 21 frames. Essentially, this means you can only gain or lose time in increments of 0.35 seconds for every level. Mario reaches the enemy stage with a function that checks if he's completed a level. It checks for every frames. So if you reach the end of the frame taking frame rule, you'll need to wait 11 frames before Mario moves to the next level.
The game checks to see if you have been under 21 frames or 0.35 seconds.
Something called a frame rule says a is at the end of every level for this game, it checks for the completion of every 21 frames. Frame rules, you probably heard of them if you're watching this tutorial. The game only checks to see if you beat the level every 21 frames. As you can see, this is a very standard explanation, but it's not true. That's not how it works. This is a line that's been taken at face value and been entertaining over and over, and as you saw, by me as well. I think this video by Bismuth was pretty much the only time I've seen it explained accurately and in depth, which is where I learned how it actually works. But yeah, I'm not here to be dramatic and throw shade at one creator versus another. I'm just trying to get us all on the same page. So, let's explain it correctly, starting with the name. The term frame rules originated from the 21 frame rule. The 21 frame rule is that you can only gain or lose time in increments of 21 frames. That's the rule for this game. Naturally, this length of time, 21 frames or 0.35 seconds, started to be referred to as the frame rule. I'm not saying it's wrong at all to call it that, just explaining the name for those who didn't know. Now, talking about frames, a real quick debrief for anyone who's unfamiliar. Frames are the smallest unit of time in a video game. Videos are made up of a bunch of still images, which, when played in rapid succession, makes a motion picture. Each one of these still images is called a frame. Super Mario Bros. Runs at 60 frames per second, so when you're playing this game, your TV is drawing in a still image to the screen 60 times every second. So when we say a frame rule is 21 frames long, it's the time it takes for the game to redraw the screen 21 times. Anyway, that's what the 21 frame rule is. But why is it a rule? Why do you gain or lose time in 21 frame chunks? Here's where things went wrong. People made the natural assumption that there's some routine in the game's code which checks if you've completed the level yet or not. It's common in game development to not always be checking for things all the time. That way there's less stuff for the game to process each frame, so we save on performance and the game's less likely to lag. Now, this is the case for some things in Super Mario Bros. For example, enemy collision. The game only processes collisions with enemies every other frame. You can only get by enemies on odd frames. You'll pass right through them. This code right here says, check if you're on an odd frame right now, and if so, don't bother running the rest of the code for enemy collisions right now. Save some processing time. Now, that all makes sense, and it's a pretty normal thing in game development, but this is not how frame rules work. There isn't some code saying, hey, check if 21 frames have passed, and if not, skip checking whether we finished the level. No, the concept of frame rules arises for a completely different reason, and it all has to do with this. This is a timer in the game's memory, which ticks down by 1 every frame. When it ticks past 0, it loops back to 20. That means it takes 21 frames to complete a full cycle, 20 frames to tick down to 0, and 1 more frame to reset to 20. 21 frames, huh? Now we're getting somewhere. See, this timer, let's call it the frame rule timer.
Stop! Can I not skip the ad? Why can't I skip it? 70! 70! 70, 70, 70, 70, 70. Oh, finally.
This timer, let's call it the frame rule timer. The frame rule timer is used all over the place in this game. Basically, whenever they wanted to decide how long something should last in this game, they would choose a number of cycles of the frame rule timer to have it last for. For example, when you stomp on Koopas, how long should the Koopa stay in its shell 1, whenever the frame rule timer ticks down past 0, and after 16 cycles, the Koopa wakes up. This same thing is true for many things in this game. Multi-coin blocks last for 11 frame rules. Invincibility from stars lasts for 35 frame rules. Mario 35. And there are many more examples. The key example for us is level transitions. After everything else is done in a level, you know, Mario's made it to the castle, the timer's finished ticking down, the star flag's gone up, and any fireworks have finished going off, then the game is ready to transition to the next level. At this point, the game waits for 6 frame rules to tick down before transitioning to the next screen. And it does the same thing when you use a warp pipe. The game waits for 6 frame rule cycles to tick down before loading the next level. Alright, now here's the crux of it all. The reason you gain or lose time in increments of 21 frames is because the first tick down can vary in length. The frame rule timer can be anywhere in its cycle when you reach this point. You may have to wait 21 frames for it to tick down the first time, or you may only have to wait 1. When the game waits for 6 ticks before transitioning, it's not like it waits for a flat 6 times 21 frames. No, it waits for 5 times 21 frames, plus however many frames the first tick takes. We're getting a little in the weeds at this point, but yeah, to sum it all up, this whole phenomenon arises because ultimately, the level transition will always happen right after this timer ticks down past 0. If you get here right at 0, you're just on time. But 1 frame too late, and you're going to be waiting until the next time it goes down to 0. This behavior has famously been compared to buses, which depart every 0.35 seconds. Now you know exactly how the bus works. Can I just say, though, that a ski lift would be an even more accurate metaphor? Shoutouts to 11059, who originally suggested this to me. But yeah, a ski lift is perfect. They're evenly spaced and come at very regular intervals. If you miss one lift, you're going to have to wait for the next one. I say, when it comes to frame rules, let's all imagine a ski lift. Anyway, that pretty much covers the 21 frame rule, why it exists, and how frame rules work. But you know what they say, rules are made to be broken. Our next topic to tackle is how the 21 frame rule itself is a lie. The claim is that you can only gain or lose time in increments of 21 frames, but that is not true. You definitely can gain or lose time in ways that don't follow this rule. To be fair, this claim is usually made while noting a couple of exceptions.
Note that there are 2 exceptions to this. We'll talk about that later.
I'm here to tell you that there are more than 2 exceptions to this, and I'll talk about them now. Here we go, this is the really fun part. Some of these are not very well known at all. Okay, first off, we'll start with the exception that's most commonly brought up, the last level of the run. This caveat is almost always included. Basically, whenever you reach the end of the speedrun, the timer will stop. This is usually when grabbing the axe in A4, but it could also be other places depending on what category you're running. In the typical case of 8-4, there's a frame rule on the way in, but once you're inside, you can take any number of frames to reach the axe at the end. This is the main reason that there aren't a ton of tied runs on the leaderboard. 8-4 is a really difficult stage with a lot of variance, so people don't usually end up tying, though it does happen occasionally. Just to clarify though, there actually is a frame rule in 8-4. It's just after timing has stopped. There are some categories which keep going past this point, like both quests, which plays through the new quest that Peach presents you, or co-op, where a second runner plays through the game with Luigi. In these cases, there is a frame rule at the end of 8-4, when it loads the next screen. Anyway, that's the first exception to the 21 frame rule, which happens because of the timer stopping. But what about when the timer starts? For this game, we usually start the timer when you gain control of Mario, rather than when you push start on the title screen. This is a good timing method for this game because of the frame rule system. This black screen before 1-1 loads varies in length depending on when you push start. If you started timing from the start press, you could have 2 runs with the exact same gameplay, but one of them ends up potentially 20 frames slower based on when they push start. It'd be a little silly, but Thankfully, if we just start timing for movement, we don't have to worry about that problem. We actually do have to worry about it on the Super Nintendo version, though. This game was remastered for the Super Mario All-Stars collection, and with that came a host of differences, which make that version an interesting speedrun in its own right. One of those differences is that there's no frame rule when coming from the title screen. This screen transition is a fixed length every time. But there still is a frame rule at the end of 1-1. This creates a weird situation where you want to start as late as you can on the title screen while still catching your desired frame rule at the end of the stage. Every frame later that you start is a frame saved, but start too many frames late and you'll miss the ski lift. Anyway, I've got a video breaking down speedruns of that version if you're interested in learning more about it. Let's move on to the next exception to the 21 frame rule. Up next is another commonly cited one, lag. During lag, everything in the game freezes, so for every frame of lag, you will lose 1 frame. In Super Mario Bros., lag typically happens, as you might expect, when a lot is happening on screen, and it's really obvious when it does happen because the HUD at the top kinda glitches out on each lag frame. The main situation you'll see this in is when there's lots of hammers on screen. But actually, outside of some epic battles with Bowser, this really isn't a very laggy game. There are some other less obvious times that the game lags though. A famous one is during Bullet Bill glitch. Without getting too technical, the game can lag here if it tries to update your score from stomping on the bullet and grabbing the flagpole, and update the color of the flashing coin at the top of the screen at the same time. If runners aren't careful to avoid the conditions, they will occasionally get 1 frame of lag here. Back in 2016, the any percent world record was 457.24. I managed to tie the record to 8.4 and play 8.4 1 frame faster, so I got 457.22. It was the first time I'd ever broken this record.
I think that's world record by 1 frame. It's world record by 1 frame. We did it, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Except, I got the lag frame in 8.2, so I didn't break the record. I only tied it. Disappointing at the time, but it's all good though. I did manage to beat it again a few days later. But yeah, as you can see, this is one way you can definitely lose time outside of the 21 frame rule. But okay, so far these examples have been things that are usually brought up as exceptions to the 21 frame rule. Now, let's get into the ones which never get brought up. There's another place where the game lags, which is on screen transitions. Anytime the game loads a new area, whether by beating a level, climbing a vine, dying, whatever, there will be 1 frame of lag during the transition. This is relevant because one playthrough of the game could have a different number of transitions compared to another. For example, in speedruns, we take the pipe in 1-1 to save time. Knowing about the 21 frame rule, you would expect the amount of time this saves to be a multiple of 21 frames. But there's 2 extra transitions, so it's off by 2 frames. Here's 2 runs finishing 1-1 at the same time, but one of them took the pipe. And you can see they don't end up tied or 21 frames apart. They end up 2 frames apart. A clear violation of the 21 frame rule. Another real-world example of this is in the walkathon category. Because Mario can't run, taking the pipe in 4-2 ends up saving time beating that stage. It saves 3 frame rules, which should amount to 63 frames, but you lose 1 frame on each of the pipe transitions, so it only saves 61. Alright, enough about lag, on to a new way to break the frame rules. The 21 frame rule happens because of this timer, right? Well, what if this timer stopped ticking down? You'd end up losing however much time it was frozen for. But is there a way to do that? As it turns out, yes. If you pause the game, the frame rule timer will pause too. This might seem irrelevant for a speedrun, but there have actually been certain categories where pausing was not only relevant, but faster. It can be used to manipulate enemy patterns and get the pattern you need to happen sooner than it would otherwise. Also, pausing isn't the only way to freeze the frame rule timer. This next one is one of the most interesting exceptions in my opinion. The frame rule timer will freeze whenever you get a power-up. That's right, something as simple as collecting a mushroom violates the 21 frame rule. The mushroom animation pauses the frame rule timer for 59 frames. 2 runs could finish 1-1 at the same time, but enter 1, 2, 4 frames apart, because one of them got a mushroom. This also applies to when you lose your power-up. Taking damage pauses the timer for 55 frames. And finally, the fire flower animation pauses things for 63 frames. A run that gains and loses power-ups will be all sorts of offset from a run that doesn't. The really interesting side effect of this for speedrunning is that what patterns you get is based on how much time has passed since you turned the game on. High-level runners can know exactly where all the enemies are going to be, when the Hammer Bros are going to jump, what direction Bowser's going to go when he comes on screen, and so on. In fact, to optimize the game, you have to plan out patterns in advance, so you can have the patterns which let you go the fastest. Runners will calculate to arrive at a time when fire bars won't be in their way, or when Bowser won't kill them if they jump over him. We'll have big spreadsheets or entire websites dedicated to this, to help avoid bad patterns and plan out the perfect run. So, going back to power-ups pausing the frame rule timer, yes, when you get a power-up, the frame rule timer will stop counting down, but time in general still passes. And because time passes, the patterns change. But again, it's a different amount of time than if you were to just lose frame rules. So, you can get completely different patterns than would normally be possible.